Welcome back to Let's Play Hot Wheels Track Attack. So, having finally, thankfully, gone past this ridiculous hot lap, jeez. Wait, 105? I thought I had 105.9, but whatever. We got the time that we needed. So, let's do what we promised we were going to do. I guess that would be checkpoint next. Yeah, and then we'll get into a race this episode, I assure you. Unless something ridiculous happens, I guess. So, it was kind of pointed out to me that actually, I think I forgot to ever actually define a reason for why we're picking up these tokens. Now, it'd probably be a good idea to do. As for why that wants to prevent us from getting them, why we want to actually go to the trouble of getting them in the midst of our search for 16 angels to help us out. So let's just say in some capacity it gives us control over this digital world. In some capacity it helps us work against that. The precise mechanism for that we'll figure out as time goes on. So I'm wondering, is everything gonna be so super tough now, just like that hot lap was in this area all of a sudden? Because man, that was pretty crazy. That hot lap. I hope not anything will be so difficult. I'll hold off on the boost for now though. But of course that explains why we would want to go to the trouble of doing things such as... Oh, why did I turn that way? Nope, that's wrong button, man. Jeez. That would explain we want to go to the trouble of doing these token collecting missions as well as doing as well as we can on all these other missions we're doing, such as this and the hot lap, of course. In addition to simply showing that who's boss. Okay, so I'm not sure. So we're halfway through. I'm not sure how much time we actually started with, so I'm not sure if I can realistically land some slalom up here. Get gold with what we have right now. Oh yeah, I keep forgetting that you get extra time by hitting these checkpoints, so yeah, see, this seems really, really easy for gold. In contrast against that hot lap. I can turn around here. No problem. And then, there you go. And the hot lap was crazy though. I had max stats and everything. Unless certain cars actually have different stats, but I don't know. Anyways, there you go. 10 tokens from that. Bad mutter. Who are you? Let's find out. Alright. So, do we have our stuff in these places? Yeah, we do. Let's try to finish up what we can in the desert for now. Elimination. Alright, so who is this new guy? Wasn't Dune. Rock Rod, Nerf Hammer, Zoom. I don't recognize the name actually. Bad motor, there we go. This does. Someone pointed out this looks a lot like the Suzuka compared to some other. This looks a lot like Suzuka compared to some other cars, which is probably pretty true actually. And I had forgotten that Jaded was actually used by another character entirely, and what was it? And Velocity X. This is bad mutter. 2 specifically. Kind of like the Euro 2. But in any case, let's head on back to what we were playing with. I might as well, since otherwise we have to worry about upgrading things. Not that we have any shortage of tokens lately, over 100. Still, it's kind of expensive. We have to spend a lot of our tokens to upgrade something new, so we want to actually make sure it's worth it whenever we take the chance to do that. Okay, so I'm just going to spend some time thinking about the mechanism for these tokens, I suppose, while we ponder what's going on in this race. Elimination. Of course, you can also ponder the mechanics of elimination. Why are people just spontaneously disappearing when they can't give up? Maybe we're just running from that. I can't forget the timing of that boost yet. Maybe we're just running from that attempts to... What is it? Delete whatever from the system, such as us. Of course, no such thing would ever happen. Especially when we know what we're doing on this track. I've been through this track plenty of times. Just instinctually, I wanted to go through this as if it was a hot lap, which means boosting basically 100% of the time. I'm not the guy to mess with on this track, unless you manage to like bump into me or something, throw me off in some way. But barring that, I know what I'm doing here, although I don't want tokens to. I can get a pretty good time here, I've discovered. I get 2 tokens right next to each other there. Yeah, I'm actually getting up a decent amount of time for these tokens. I'm missing some tokens, evidently, but whatever. Narrowly dodged that thing. If I missed a token in that left section, actually. Oh, I missed a token on the right section, sure. It took me way too long to figure out that I had to hit that turn wider than I was hitting it prior. Alright. Oh, see? No more Roger Dodger. Wasn't that Drifting Lion Storm? Sorry, dude. We'll probably see him again later. He'll probably just bribe his way back into existence or something. It's never a problem. No setback is too big for him and his money. So then, tokens. So I don't know if we should make any distinction between the blue tokens and the red tokens. I have noticed that they're 2 different things, even though I haven't really mentioned it in the actual gameplay. Hi. You have nice collisions. See? Computer simulation. Glitches in the Matrix. We're basically Neo. Okay. But you, I want to. There we go. Kinda missed the first time. Hit 10. So one thing I wonder how collecting something in a particular simulation will allow you to have better control of that simulation. Some mechanism or another. And the third lab, I guess I might as well pick up that last thing I'm missing. That last token. Nerf Hammer. Crazy name you have, Nerf Hammer. Oh jeez. Okay. I do dislike how much you bounce around in that section. And it couldn't exactly be evidence of anything, because you already know what's going on here. I just need something that gives us power. Unless the glitches that we're collecting, which would be kind of weird, because there are lots of them. Mistakes being made by that on a regular basis. Oh, jeez. Let's not actually. Should I pick that up? Yeah, so not all the tokens. There are 16 tokens here total, I think, but we can go without 1 or 2 of them. This is actually somebody pretty close to behind us. Oh, not there. Oh, jeez. Oh, so hey! Come on. Messes up your camera. Right? It returns you back to third-person camera if you hit one of those jumps. But if you change the camera again while you're in the jump, it switches back to first person. It's interesting. See, I'll just ignore that token. This guy's actually on our tail, surprisingly. I don't know what it is with the high expectations for this one level. Whatever. All of those tokens. So I'm pretty sure the tokens that get shown on the screen, though, on the boat shaker, get shown on the change track screen, the track select screen, are actually the red ones. The blue ones probably count towards upgrades to the. In fact, the red ones might not count towards upgrades at all. I haven't been paying that much attention. Oh well, in any case, so more eliminations and token grabs. So we still have the stop token grabs. So let's do that to finish that up. We'll have the first wave of everything done, I think. So this is a perfect time to also further consider how these tokens work. And I was already doing that, of course, but it's thematic now. It's appropriate. So we simply want as many as we can. Music. Wait, isn't this like the menu music? Why are we playing menu music here? Whatever. I guess it makes sense to be playing relatively relaxed music here, but even so. So, I'll see if I can just kind of try to hang on to the track here. It usually seems like you can kind of get into something of a flow by following the track in these. But they're not usually connected this explicitly, at least not in the other couple I tried. This one feels pretty different. This one definitely feels like you could collect literally every token if all the pieces are actually connected, which might not be. These tokens are in some capacity the source of that's power. They're simply stealing it from them. Or from it, at least. Whatever it is. But, in that case, why have they been placed here? Well, they've been placed here. These are what makes the simulation run, perhaps. Power sources. Or something along those lines. They're the reality manipulators, or at least digital reality manipulators. By taking them, we prevent that from manipulating reality. under its own power. Ah! There we go. I'm satisfied. Okay. And by extension, potentially giving ourselves such power. Of course, at the moment, that has much more than we have. I mean, we have less than a third of these tokens, of the tokens that we know of. For some, I'm probably aren't even on our radar. But in any case, so what do we do next? I think I have time for one race. So we've done all the, so we have another track here, we have Arid, we have Canopy here, we have Aquarium here. Let's just go with Aquarium. Another classic race. We already did a full-on race though. Let's get familiar with this area, starting with a checkpoint actually. Checkpoints are pretty straightforward. Then hot lap potentially afterwards, assuming we can actually do that without too many problems. Oh, I'm jaded having a spoiler though, and Bossy X. Coup, Banner Zoom. Shift Kicker. Where's the one we unlocked? Outrage. Mr. Auto. Oh, here's Bone Shaker. So many cars in the Hot Wheels, whatever you want to call it, lineup look so much like Track T. Anyways, checkpoint. Oh, darn it. Saved where I was. Okay, there we go. I was just trying to be lazy to get back to where the governor was. Okay. This should hopefully go on pretty smoothly, but it'll also be a nice introduction to this area. Searching new places. We've thoroughly searched all the places that were available to us up until now. Pick up our last token we could. Just about at least. Hopefully enough. This is an aquarium. This is really interesting, like aquarium. Oh wow, here we go. This reminds me vaguely of, what was it? Not Jolly Roger Bay? What was it? Something Bay. Was Jolly Roger Bay? And, no. Whatever it was. Buccaneer Bay. And Snow Track Challenge. Oh jeez. So bright here in the leash. This game's focus on visuals is interesting, and how sometimes like that flowing water on the left hand side of the screen just then, sometimes it seems really consistent with how detailed some things are. And at the same time, I'm pretty sure the reason this game was lagging on my computer initially, when I first tried to play it a while back, was because if you look off into the distance, everything has this weird blur and bloom effect. I don't know why they did that. Blur effects and things like that eat up so much processing power. Pretty place though, I guess. And it's only a aquarium so far as I think there's like a single tunnel that has it. But we haven't even seen the whole track yet, I don't think, so we'll just have to confirm further. Token grab. Some hot lap. Hopefully have less of a hard time this time. Although there was something unlocked for us, I want to say. I wish these things were locked in some kind of order. Although I think you unlock cars per mission, so that's probably why I'm not getting them in order. Very interesting looking. I feel like I've seen you before somewhere. Where are you aware? Anyways. Off we go. Come on. See me. Can I point out the window? Yes. Well, it's hard. It's difficult. There we go! I managed to hit the start button just by pointing my controller at the window behind me and mashing the A button. So hopefully we'll manage to do this hot lap in 1 minute, which means like one try. Which might happen, considering how easy the first few hot laps were. But considering how difficult the last hot lap was, who knows? So I'll just take this seriously from the beginning. Oh geez, stock sounds. Also, this is a bad place to boost, apparently. SpongeBob flashbacks, though. So I'm pretty sure that's exactly the one they used in, what was the episode called? Sailor Mouth or something? See if we can afford to pick those up real quick as we go. So we're seeing more and more of those yellow pads, which I guess I don't mind too much. Definitely does not seem efficient to take that alternate route on the right. I don't know why you would do that. Alternate routes are not always the better routes, I'm certainly noticing. Okay, so we're definitely a few seconds short. I think I'll cut the episode here though, and then we'll see next episode if we can do that a bit better. Asphalt Assault. Alright, see you guys.